Hello, and welcome to yet another discussion on maritime freight assurance, quality, or frequently asked questions. Okay, now one of the things that most of us are aware of is that the shipping industry, especially the maritime sector, is a highly regulated industry. And when I said especially the maritime sector, I mentioned that because every country a ship goes to has rules and laws of its own, and the seafarers, they know what they're supposed to do. They are trained, and at least as much as they can refer to the regulations or the memory serves them, they do as good a job as they can. Unfortunately, the ports which they visit and the authorities who they have to deal with would have some local regulations themselves. And considering the number of countries that any ship could be visiting, this is something, it's a difficult task to navigate around all the regulations. But just to let you know how these regulations have come about, who is the ultimate authority, and why. This is the picture you can see. So now I am not very happy with this picture myself. If I had the time, I would just draw this a very different way. So the reason why I am not happy is because right on the right you see maritime human resources conventions. Now I believe that has to be put on top, because it's after all humans who are dealing with this trade at sea or otherwise. But you have the United Nations on top, and the merchant ships, the actual workhorses of the seas, they are right at the bottom. But still, since this is quite a good representation, at least to help us understand what's happening, so you can see that on the right hand side, the International Labour Organization, they deal a lot with the human resources. So you have STCW conventions and a lot of the unions which come into play out here, especially the International Labour Organization. Right? We had a case where a couple of seafarers were incriminated. They had to go to prison, and where the IMO could not do anything for them, the ILO had to be called upon to release them out from prison. And they did quite a good job actually after 14 or 18 months of trying. It was ultimately the ILO which said that we're not going to touch any of the products handled by this company unless those seafarers are released. Now, there is the issue out here of who is making all these rules and regulations, and so you can see on the left bottom corner, they're especially given a highly esteemed position by putting their name in a diamond. Everybody else is a rectangle. So, but they're right at the corner, the classification societies. So you can see there's an arrow coming out on the right, and it says make design rules. So there you go. So if you've been wondering how they've come into such importance, there's some history behind this. So it was basically Edward Lloyd from the Lloyd's Coffee House. He used to circulate lists giving details of vessels which might appear for insurance, because insurance was in the 1700s, early 1700s, they realized that a maritime adventure, it's better to be insured against a maritime adventure. So in 1764, when this committee of London insurers and insurance brokers, they compiled a book containing details of ships that might require insurance. So when first published, it was called the Lloyd's Register, and they were given grades, A, E, I, O, U. That was the condition of the hull. They just used those vowels to give the condition of the hull. And the equipment was graded good, bad, or middling. It's not good, bad, or ugly. G, M, or B, good, middling, or bad. And later, this green book, as it was known, and compiling almost details of 15,000 ships. Later, many other rivals came along. You see, many other classification societies came along, which we are showing in this picture. So now ultimately, since we live in an interdependent world, all these classification societies came together, and then you have this list right from, there. You can see this list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you got the 11 others. And you can also see this is actually needs to be updated for 2023, and this is quite an old list actually. But just to give you an overview that these are the people who are actually coming up with the rules. And so insurers, underwriters, P&I clubs, they work hand in hand with these classification societies, many of them were set up actually in the 19th century, though the Lloyd's Register started somewhere in the 1700s. This is now the reason actually this could have been left as a video only for classification societies, but I just included this maritime zones because of the way we started our discussion. Anyways, please bear with us. Keep sharing and subscribe for latest, and we hope to come up with another video soon. Till then, bon voyage. Thank you.